everybody? Ed from Paranormal Inc. Ohio, back again with another ghost story. This ghost story is about the Neulbom Garden restaurant in South Korea. The Neulbom Garden restaurant in South Korea was opened by a very rich man and his wife. They purchased the restaurant. He was very meticulous with everything. He didn't want nasty food on the floor. He didn't want people playing with their food. He was always doing the dishes in the back because he could not stand anything dirty or disgusting. The restaurant became very big. Like, everybody loved the restaurant. Till tragedy struck, and their daughter with a very bad disability was struck by a car in front of the restaurant, where she later had died from her injuries. The distraught father already couldn't handle anything he couldn't handle change, and he loved his daughter so much that he fell into a very bad depression and ended up taking his life and hanging himself in the restaurant. Shortly after that, from shock, the mother ended up passing away as well. People have purchased the restaurant again and opened it up, and a lot of people would order their food from a waitress, and their food would never arrive, so they would get one of the male staff and say, "Hey, we gave our order to the lady and she never came back with our food," and they'd be puzzled, like, "We don't have any waitresses. We have no female staff that is waitressing." Another thing would be is that the waiters would realize that they forgot the side dishes to the main courses with the food for the customers, and they would run back to the kitchen to get the side dishes, only to find out that the side dishes mysteriously was taken to the table. Other incidences where if the patrons are playing with their food, they would feel a slap to the back of the head, almost like the distraught father who did not like anyone playing with their food was there smacking them in the back of the head. They would hear voices, they would hear stomps, doors would open and shut. They would also, some of the night staff would not finish cleaning the restaurant. They would leave lots of tables in the back dirty, and they would come in the next day to where the whole place would be spotless clean. And nobody was in there. Nobody had night shifts. The place was locked up, shut down tight. And somehow, every time they would leave these tables dirty, they would wind up just miraculously clean. The whole restaurant would be clean. They tried to open this restaurant back up to make it a successful business again, but the hauntings were so severe that everybody they ran. They couldn't stay. The hauntings was so intense to where I think that the father that had killed himself, who owned the building before, that was his spot, and he didn't like the way everybody was just mistreating it. Customers playing with their food. Like I said, he was very meticulous about everything, and he did not like people playing with the food. He did not like dirty dishes. He did not like a dirty anything. He was very cleanly. So it remained haunted. Another couple purchased it again to try to do the same thing, run the restaurant, and the same things happened again. So later on, about 20-some years later, a priest bought the building and just decided to let it rest in peace. And it has become a hot spot for paranormal investigators. Sometimes there's legends that if you go into the Neulbom Garden, you never leave the Neulbom Garden. They've had suicides there, multiple suicides there in the building, to where they had to board the building up to where nobody can get in. Paranormal investigators would go in, do their investigations, and never be heard from again. Now, like I said, these are just legends and stories that I've heard and come across on my research. You can believe it or you don't have to believe it at all. But I think it is a very intriguing story. I think y'all should check it out, read it for yourself, because when I was reading the Neulbom Garden, it was just something that just took me. It's just so tragic that the little girl had passed away, hit by the car, and her father just couldn't handle it, so he hung himself in the building. The very building that he loved, just as much as he loved his daughter and his family, and he hung himself. And then, like I said, soon after, the wife, from just pure shock, just passed away from everything that had happened. So, that is the ghost story of the Neulbom Gardens. Now, as far as I know, it's still shut down. It's still boarded up. Nobody can get into it. But they still say people try to get into it, try to be paranormal investigators, and try to, hunt ghosts and everything down. I don't recommend that. Never try to go into a building that's boarded up For one, it's probably unsafe, and two, the boards are there for a reason. So, you know what I mean. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope everybody had a good time. I'm so glad to see you guys here. Like I said, you guys are family to me. I love each and every one of you. This Friday will be a live ghost story. It will be about the Winchester Mansion. I cannot wait to do this. I'm finding more and more things out about this place that is just wild and just wild. So I hope you guys are there. I hope you join us for the live. We will be live at 10 p.m. Friday night to tell the live ghost story of the Winchester Mansion. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you then.